property during their hurricane relief. The Daily Wire reporting, quote, the government employees said that at least 20 homes with Trump signs or flags were skipped from the end of October and into November due to the guidance, meaning they were not given the opportunity to qualify for FEMA assistance. Images shared with the Daily Wire show that houses were skipped over by the workers who wrote in the government system messages such as Trump sign no entry per leadership. Corey Mills serves on the House Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committee and is an Iraq War veteran, and he joins me now. Congressman
Corey, before you take the floor, welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. And we are discussing this FEMA thing that happened under the Kamala and Biden administration. Now, we understand election is a very important, but when you put aside, you say forget about the people, that's a big problem, right? These people were in danger. These people needed assistance. They needed just the necessity, the basics of life. The things that you might take for granted on an everyday basis, on a daily basis, is what these people really needed. Now, Storm Helena or Hurricane Helena, right after Helena, it was Milton. So you're telling me that just because of political events, you're going to say, forget about the people. If they vote for Trump, don't support him. Life is bigger than Trump. That's the first thing and foremost. People don't understand that. An election, okay, if you made your money off of it, if you understand your point of view, if you understand the policies, if you understand how elections actually go, and you don't really select or elect the president, right? You really don't do that. You elect your state governors, your state officials, if you understand. So why would you take it upon yourself? And I find this to be very demonic. Why would you take it upon yourself to say the hell with the safety of the people, the hell with the lives of these people? You couldn't give them insurance money. That's the first thing, because the estimators never came out, because a couple of days later, Milton came. Most people are still stranded. You're only going to give them $750 while you're sending billions of $66 billion to Ukraine, which is the laundromat, right? Basically money laundering. So do they really care about Americans? You give veterans $3 billion while you give Ukraine $66 billion. Like, does that really make sense? Can we take care of our home base first instead of taking care of everything else? And that's one reason why I support Trump on this one, because he's trying to make sure that America is good again, either via us having our own oil supply. Just the other day, he did a crypto proposal, which means that and you got the House is shaking up, everyone is shaking up, DC is shaking up. He did a crypto proposal saying that if you made crypto in the United States, just as a side note, XRP, Algorand, ADA is another one, and you have HBAR. Those are United States crypto-based companies. It will be considered tax-free. Now you got a lot of people. Now what he doing is he putting his candidates underneath his board, because they won the House, they won the Senate, the popular vote. They actually won everything. Upon this election, I've never seen so many bloody states in my life. Leave a comments down below. I barely seen any blue, because people are tired of the economy. I think that's the main pitch: the economy and the migrant crisis. Now, what I don't understand is that if you shut down the migrant crisis, just the other day, Eric Adams said that he's going to stop the debit cards, right? After you feed people $20,000 free money every month, what do you think they're going to do? It's a side effect. Now, I'm not telling him he wasn't wrong for cutting it off, because you're cutting it off to put more money inside of the system, but I think it was just done. It wasn't done to the best of the ability of, I guess, for the people, but I guess you can't, it's no way that you can satisfy all, right? It's something that hasn't been done because the money was spent in a way that I couldn't understand. You know, so I don't find this to be right at all. FEMA, y'all have some explaining to do, because where's the money? And only thing you got to do is print the money. So the thing will be, where's the printers? You guys ran out of ink. Let's continue.
Good morning to you. So this apparently happened in your home state of Florida. And this whole scenario, I think, is exactly how conservatives from Florida to North Carolina to East Palestine, Ohio, feel about how the federal government would respond if they were victims of a natural disaster. But if they said that, they would be labeled as spreading fake news and spreading false information. And yet this is exactly what happened with this one FEMA employee. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, again, Carly, this isn't the first time that we've seen the Democrats weaponize our federal government. We saw it under Obama with the IRS, who was targeting conservative organizations when it came to audit. We've seen this with the Department of Injustice and the lawfare that's been going on and utilized. And I would say that we probably saw this in Western North Carolina, which is predominantly a red area, where they received almost no assistance for weeks on end. And so it's not surprising to me whatsoever to watch the Democrat Party under the Biden administration or the Obama administration to basically weaponize the federal government to try and go ahead and impact those who have political ideologies that differ from their own. So I think that this is why when President Trump comes in office and the appointments are finished, we need to clean up the federal government. We need to reduce its scope and practices. We need to go ahead and reduce the size of federal government, hand things back over to the individual states who do a great job, especially in my home state of Florida, and start actually serving the people.
Yeah. And, you know, these people that had Trump signs in their front yard who were
just because you had a Trump sign in your front yard, you're telling me that you're not going to support these people when this is beyond Trump? Like, put politics aside. It just goes to show. And you got to see what Trump is doing now to this current day. When I mean he's cleaning house, him, Elon, you got Vivek. They have the Department of, they created a whole nother department of basically economic affairs. They created a whole nother department called DOGE, DOGE. It's an acronym, right? And that will basically clean up the house. They also elected today, I believe, they elected RFK to do the food administration and everything else. The health, he's part of the health board, which I think is absolutely wonderful. So I think the system is going to begin to change because it obviously needs one, right? It needs one. And I'm sure people are tired of giving their money to people that don't care about them. How much money have you gave to the politicians? Because one thing I notice about most politicians, and smash that like button if you agree. Most politicians, I believe, right? They come in broke as a joke. They come in broke. By the time they leave, most of them are millionaires. 99.9% are millionaires. So we're literally giving them our money not to take care of or not to have our best interests. It's time for that to change. It's literally time for that to change. They also mad at Trump now because they consider him a homophobe or XYZ. I don't believe that. I believe in standing for something and having some form of standards, right? He outlawed a certain type of marriages. He outlawed the fact that you cannot have a gender change, right? Of course, he got Elon on the board because this happens to Elon's son. The mother ensured that the son took hormones that could change the gender. Now, if you were born as what you was born as, why do you want to change that? Let me repeat, especially on the undeveloped mindset and the undeveloped brain, right? If you were born as a man, why would you want to change that and identify as something else? Because society allowed you to. If society don't allow you to do these things, right, you wouldn't have done it. If they don't push it upon you and or give you that option, you wouldn't have done it. So imagine if you're in the care of your mom, because I guess Elon and her wasn't on good terms, right? It happens to the best of us, to the most richest of us, the richest man on earth. It happens because money can't buy everything, right? Imagine if you leave your son with the mother and the mother decides, you know what, since she's more lenient, you can appeal to her emotions to sway her. The mother like, well, you know, son, if you want to change your gender, you can. You can take these pills or these hormones, and I fully support it. Did she ever ask Elon about that? Probably not. It's a child. A child don't have a developed brain. That's why they need parents. That's why they need an adult around, so they can make these decisions that don't have to affect them for all their lives. Imagine you get a switch up, and then next thing you know, you turn 18 or 25 or 30 when your brain is fully developed. Let's just say 25 based on statistics, right? And you want to change. You're like, what have I done? Now you start resenting your parents. Where were my parents at? Where were my guardians? Where were my guidance? So that's why I say, if you're an adult, do what you want to do. No one cares. That's what you want to do. Yes, it's going to have its side effects. That's on you, though, because you have to be accountable for your action as an adult. But as a kid, you need the adult to be accountable for their action. So I kind of like the fact that they're changing that. Imagine you in California, they have a law stating that your kid can have a gender change or identifies this, identifies that in school, and the school don't have to let the parents know. As if the school just became the guardian and the parents, knowing that it's an indoctrination camp, right? That's why I crossed them out. Check the hat. That's why I crossed them out, because it's just indoctrinating you to believe in things that really aren't true. It's not even true. It's not even real. So what sense was that make? What sense does that make? I kind of like the direction of what America is going in. From a entrepreneurial perspective, I like it because they bringing creativity back, even if they're using blockchain and everything else. I think we can fix the deficit that we have simply by Bitcoin. And what is Bitcoin? A technology. Simply by blockchain. And what is blockchain? Another form of technology. So I think we can fix these things. And it's not that I think. I know that we can fix these things because we the one that created the problem. And I'm not saying we as you, like I'm pointing fingers, but we have to hold ourselves accountable for everything because we all are one. Good or bad, we all are one. You know, so it's time to clean house. I kind of like what's going on. But the fact that you just, why would you do that to these people that's just getting $750, right? And I don't know, you giving them the money, but the stores aren't open. The hell with the money. They need more resources. They need clean water. Imagine if your city, your town got flooded, a hurricane came through, things got flooded. Most of the things are going to be contaminated, correct? So if things are contaminated, right? Don't you want clean things? The truckers, I did a video a while back, and I'm going to leave it down in the chat. The truckers didn't even receive any loads from FEMA, which means did they really have the intention and or the want to even fix this problem? But I'm sure they're going to ask for funding from the problem. But yet when the funding comes, is it distributed to the people? It's about time that we change that. Let's continue.
Victims of a hurricane, they pay taxes, and FEMA uses tax money to respond to disasters, and yet they were skipped over because of their political ideology. So FEMA administrator released a statement saying, quote, "This is a clear violation of FEMA's core values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. I want to be clear to all my employees and the American people. This type of behavior and action will not be tolerated at FEMA, and we will hold people accountable if they violate these standards of conduct." But you know, Congressman, it does feel like the damage is done here, and it's going to take a lot for conservatives to trust FEMA now that this has happened. I'm sure that many people who read
I
this
believe
story,
that trust, and let me know what you guys think about this. Leave them thoughts down below. I believe that trust in the United States, ever since 2020, have gone to no one trusts America anymore. How could you? The mainstream legacy media, also known as the fake news, lied to us in 2020. Right in our face. You know how many people died? You know how many people still living with the psychiatric effect or the psychology behind what they say? Wear a mask, stay 6 feet away from people. And to this day, I still see people with these masks on when Dr. Farsi and Bill Gates is under investigation as we speak. You can drop the doctor, just call him Farsi. Because how much millions did he make off this? Millions. Millions. So on the backs of others, as usual. You know, so I look at it like it's time for a change. The truth reigns supreme. and thus it will. And it's no way that we can allow these things to happen. It's no way as people we should ever allow these things to happen. Someone have to be accountable for this. Check out Bill Gates. Check out the Epstein tapes and everything. Why you think the distractions are rampant high with P. Diddy and everything else? They've been doing these things. Wicked people do wicked things. Can we move on? Because there's other monies to be made. Instead of the this is the greatest time to be alive, the greatest wealth transfer in the world, right? Pay attention to crypto, pay attention to money, pay attention to your values, your principles. Go create something, go make something, go add value to something, because it's the time. We need it. You got everything you need in front of you. It's no excuses. It's not like you really need college anymore unless you have like a super focus. And most of the things you can learn online. And most of the things are free of charge. I'm not saying don't invest in yourself. I'm not saying don't have a mentor. I think mentorship programs will skyrocket because it's not considered a shortcut, but it's not their traditional way of doing things. And I love the creative way of doing things nowadays. Like, look, right now I'm on YouTube. I'm spreading my message how I'm spreading my message. Also, if you support the channel, the only thing I ask, click those links down below that I put. I try to add value. Credit is very important. You should monitor it. Now, the common folks may have Experian or maybe some free credit report. But one thing I notice about these things is that it takes a while for them to report to you, right? 30 days. You can't, as soon as somebody do something to your account or something happen or a flag and or just a simple notification, or maybe they're giving you a news card or anything along that nature, right? You may not see it within 30 days. It lags. It takes time for it to come up and get updated in the system. But with Identity IQ, they solve that problem. As soon as something happens to your account, you are immediately, let me repeat, you are immediately notified. So hit the link down below. Of course, you get a discount for using the link. So that's the way to supporting the channel. I appreciate people sending me this to do a reaction video over and or review, because I couldn't believe it. I said, why would they really take politics that serious? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, right? Because if you don't study politics, then the fools that do, it's a quote, the fools that do will end up telling you what to do and run your life. So you have to know something about it. You have to put yourself at least in a position to make it beneficial to you. What happened when Trump got elected? I made a lot of money. When Trump got elected, the stock market skyrocketed, and it's going to continue to skyrocket. When Trump got elected, the crypto market skyrocketed. Entrepreneurship is going to take off. Businesses is going to thrive in the United States because what? Regulation. We're deregulating the regulations that kept most people behind. If you want to go get a mortgage, it may be a great time to go get a mortgage and or get a house, because house prices will skyrocket. You have a real estate owner, which is Trump, in office. You don't think that he's going to make sure that his portfolio grow? So it's, if he a big whale, make sure that you a fish beside the whale. That's all I'm saying. Not financial advice. You know, but you have to seize the opportunity and take the opportunity, because most opportunities are missed. And right now, for the next 4 years, we're going to see an egregious amount of opportunities. And I believe that it has your name on it. You know, my advice, cut out devices and get to it. No excuses. Excuses are for the weak and incompetent. And together we can go further than Wells Fargo. But let's continue, because FEMA, y'all have some explaining to do. What the hell y'all doing with these, with my tax money? With our tax money, because it's not just me. With our tax money that we give to you every year, and when it's time to take care of home, you say that you don't have any more money? How rude. How disrespectful. Another scheme. This scheme is greater than the Ponzi scheme.
Who support Trump say that this comes